Chapter 7 Empress Gazing Upon the City Walls. The Zijin mansion possessed a tremendous reputation, and Yu Youwei was its oiran. She once performed a sword dance which mesmerized and scared Xu Fengnian out of his wits all at once. The procuress here was all dolled up today, personally welcoming the 3 loaded scions. Li Hanlin took out a banknote for 500 silver coins and stuffed it into the procuress's bosom with a mischievous chuckle.
Mama Hannah, do enlighten me in the lofty arts of romance today.
The procuress gave a coy smile and said,
For such a gentleman as you, I'll be sure to use all the aces up my sleeve.
Even as she flirted with Li Hanlin, her eyes were transfixed on Xu Fengnian. Unfazed, Xu Fengnian proceeded straight to the backyard to find a separate courtyard and gently pushed the door to let himself in. Inside, a young lady sat facing him like a serene statue, wearing a turquoise gown with no rouge on her face. On the stone table was a crouching white cat, which went by the name Empress. Xu Fengnian sat beside the lady and spoke softly.
I've come to see you, right after my return to Liang province.
The oiran named Yu Youwei murmured,
I'm returning to my hometown of Chu province tomorrow.
Xu Fengnian remained silent, his brow furrowed with concern. Yu Youwei then lifted Empress with both hands and lowered her head, asking,
Fengnian, let's have one last sword dance for you. Think you got the guts for it?
With bold fervor, Xu Fengnian declared,
Why the heck not?
Yu Youwei's sword dance was a thing of absolute elegance and beauty. In one swift movement, the courtyard was lit up with glinting steel. The accompanying elegy of gazing upon the city walls was an outpouring of tearful lament, its sorrowful strains unceasing. Once in Western Shu, a maiden surnamed Gongsun lived, her sword dance reaching far and wide. Spectators moved to tears, emotions evoked, and memories lingered. 3,000 handmaidens the late king had, yet Gongsun's sword was foremost among all. The flag of surrender raised in the capital, and only the fair one defended the wall. 180,000 armors dropped, not one fine man to be found nationwide. Thus the song ended. The longsword thrust straight towards Xu Fengnian's head in a rush of murderous force. Yu Youwei, real name Yu Xuanji, hailing from Western Shu, she had lain low in Ling province for 8 years, waiting for an opportunity to assassinate Xu Fengnian. Today was that day, but what was this shred of hesitation now? The long sword broke in two, and a young lady in white appeared in the courtyard. Yu Xianji wondered if it was woe or joy she felt at having failed the assassination. In that instant, she was subdued by the resplendent lady. Xu Fengnian had grown much wiser from having his fill of hard knocks these 3 years. Back then, he could not fathom why the oiran sword dance felt so menacing for no good reason. It was true that Prince Xu Fengnian was untrained in combat, but since he spent his days with a bunch of prolific, battle-hardened killers like his father and Yuan Zuozong, he knew enough to recognize life-threatening danger when he saw it. Returning to Ling province was a matter of throwing himself in the line of fire to ascertain what Yu Youwei was really brewing. If it was an aphrodisiac, it was right up his alley. He would take her home and revel in romantic bliss. If it was poison, then too bad. He would take her still, but as for her end, what else would a man with 3 years of pent-up carnal fire do to a seductive beauty who enticed him even in his dreams? The only unexpected twist was White Foxface striking out, and not the best of the best, ruthless, and the most formidable fighter in the palace who he had secured in advance with his father. Then again, as things stood, even if White Foxface did not possess sky-high prowess, it was high enough all the same. Xu Fengnian broke the silence and asked,
White Foxface, is there a way to make her lose all semblance of resistance?
White Foxface nodded and said,
There is a simpler way.
A swift hand chop struck the Oiran's fair neck, knocking her unconscious. Visibly stiffened, Xu Fengnian rushed over and checked for signs of breath. Having made sure she was unscathed, he let out a triumphant sneer. He looked up to see White Foxface already gone, a masterful move as expected. Xu Fengnian hoisted the svelte figure onto his shoulders and carried her out of the Zijin mansion. On that day, news of the tyrannical prince of northern Liang forced himself on Yuyue the Oiran spread like wildfire throughout the capital of Ling province.